Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Data here with breaking news in the National Hockey League as the Tampa Bay Lightning have finally at last traded Isaac Howard to the Edmonton Oilers for prospect Sam O'Reilly. The saga for Isaac Howard is finally over. Where is he going to go? Who's going to get him? What is the price that's going to have to be paid? It's finally over. Howard going to the Oilers in exchange for Sam O'Reilly, prospect for prospect. And it's a very interesting trade because Isaac Howard, despite being a later first-round draft pick, had a lot of suitors surrounding him as soon as it became prevalent and understood and public knowledge that he wasn't going to be signing with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So getting him to the Oilers, Edmonton was interested for a very long time in the Isaac Howard sweepstakes. They finally get him for one of their higher end prospects as well. I don't think the Oilers have the deepest prospect pool, so I think it just got a lot better. I believe that this is an improvement, and that's why it's Tampa Bay playing from a position of the opposite of power, weakness. So Tampa, as much as it hurts to lose Isaac Howard and take a bit of a step down for Sam O'Reilly, I think Tampa can be very pleased with this return. The Oilers can be ecstatic with acquiring Isaac Howard, but the Tampa Bay Lightning can be happy with, listen, we didn't just get like a conditional first in 2027. We got a very solid prospect. Now, Isaac Howard on a team where there's McDavid and Draisaitl, oh my goodness. But let's start breaking this down. Isaac Howard, who was the 31st overall selection in the 2022 draft, after he was coming out of the U.S. National Development Team program. He went to the University of Minnesota Duluth, where he scored 17 points in 35 games. After that, 36 in 36 with Michigan State. And this past year, 26 goals and 52 points in 37 games, just getting better. 7 goals and 9 points in 7 games with Team USA at the Under-20 World Championships in 2024. Of course, the Hobey Baker winner, of course, in 24-25 as well. So a lot to be excited about for Isaac Howard, who he is as a player, as a sniper. We'll talk about him and his abilities in just a moment reading through his profile, but not just a lot to be excited about when it comes to Isaac Howard as a player, but when you think about the organization he's going to be in now. Don't get me wrong, Tampa Bay, that's, a lot to be excited about with him there too. If you got him playing with, at the time when he was drafted, Stamkos and Point, all these guys, there was a lot that you could see into the future. But now, if I'm Isaac Howard saying I'm going from there to now having McDavid, Draisaitl, it's, I'm still very happy with my life choices. Juice, not up to date on this at all. Has he made a statement on why he didn't want to sign in Tampa Bay? To my knowledge, I did a quick little bit of research. I know it was clear that he didn't want to sign. I don't think he came out and made like a big statement on why that exactly was. I believe the speculation is ice time not ice time, but just like he doesn't think he'd get enough of a look, maybe. Like, he's ready to be in the NHL now. He didn't get promoted. He spent another year in the NCAA and tore it up. I don't know if he's unhappy about that or that he just thinks there's too many stars that he won't be able to thrive. That's kind of just more speculative, but I would say that probably tracks. Definitely not coming from any position of knowledge, but I'd say that's what seems most likely, kind of like in that Cutter Gauthier type category. I don't think there's as much bad blood. Yeah, that's it. Just a better opportunity for NHL time. I don't think there's as much of I'm don't want to be here, where Cutter did not want to be in Philadelphia. I think Isaac Howard just wanted to be anywhere that got him ice time. That didn't seem to be Tampa. I think that's a bit of, will Tampa Bay fans still treat him as Philadelphia Flyers fans treat Cutter Gauthier? Probably. But deep in his heart, I don't think Isaac Howard had from the beginning, I don't want to play in Tampa Bay. I think Cutter Gauthier had that for Philadelphia. Isaac Howard, I think it just came down to ice time. So anyways, Isaac Howard, we'll talk about who he is as a player in a moment. Just want to quickly also touch upon Sam O'Reilly. The Oilers were super excited about him as a prospect. They traded up to make sure they could get him. They traded their first in 2025 for a first in 2024. That first ended up being Henry Brustovich, who got drafted 31st overall by the Kings. So it ended up being pick 32 in 2024 for pick 31 in 2025. And that worked out. So Sam O'Reilly, he is 19-year-old player down in the OHL, back-to-back winner with the London Knights, 71 points in 62 games this past year. And he now moves into the Tampa Bay organization, where I'm sure he'll have opportunities. I'm sure Isaac Howard would have gotten opportunities as well. But I wonder if it was the fact that he wasn't promoted in 24-25 that did something for him there. I wonder. Now, who is Isaac Howard as a player? I love Doper Prospects. I like reading what they have to say a lot of the time, and it doesn't shut down my entire family's internet like Elite Prospects usually does. So the fantasy summary on him is that he is a gifted offensive winger with great puck skills and a quick release. Needs to get stronger, but has top 6 upside at the NHL level. So absolutely, I wouldn't necessarily call him a sniper, but he's definitely like it's quick release. He has a very impressive shot. We can call it like that. So the most recent observation in April 2025 described it as the Tampa Bay Lightning will not be signing Isaac Howard as he plans to return to Michigan State University for his senior season in 25-26, opening the door for his signing rights to expire next summer, August 2026. He was named Big Ten Player of the Year in 24-25 and won the 2025 Hobey Baker Award after leading Michigan State, in scoring, and was 5th in the NCAA with 52 points in 37 games. Now, the Oilers also signed him to the 3-year entry-level contract right away. So I wonder, was it some sort of negotiation tactic to say that he's not going to be playing in Tampa Bay next year? I don't know. Will he be an Edmonton Oiler for 25-26? Will he actually follow through with his commitment to go play, or his plans to return to Michigan State? Not necessarily, a commitment per se. He's adjusted well in the NCAA. If Howard was not on your radar before as that later first-round pick, he should be now. Yeah, there's a lot of descriptions of like where he is at that time when they did a report on him. Yes. So that's the quick little elevator pitch on him. Gifted offensive winger with great puck skills and a quick relief. Needs to get stronger, yes, but top 6 upside at the NHL level, and he has been doing a lot of things right in this 24-25 season, especially which won him the Hobey Baker Award. Now, Sam O'Reilly, who are you getting, Tampa Bay Lightning fans, and who are you saying goodbye to, Edmonton Oilers fans? He is an incredibly intelligent two-way center with solid playmaking tools. Skating needs work, but could develop into a third-line penalty-killing specialist. I see him definitely in that middle 6. I don't think his ceiling is third line. I could definitely see him as a middle 6 guy. In June of 2025, it was written by James Connolly. O'Reilly had a good year with the London Knights. He scored 28 goals and 71 points in 62 OHL games and was easily the Knights' 4th best player. It's a strong team. While 4th may not be what some fans want to hear, London is consistently a CHL powerhouse and has countless alums in the NHL. So on a team with Easton Cowan, Sam Dickinson, and Denver Barkey, that's true, I forgot about him being there, it will always be hard to be the best player as on a team as loaded as that. O'Reilly is one of the most responsible 200-foot players in junior hockey and should have little trouble translating his skill set to the NHL one day. While he may not have top-line upside, O'Reilly is about as sure of a bet to become a third liner as there is. So I'd say that is his floor, that third line floor. He constantly makes an impact wherever he is on the ice, and he is always engaged with the play. He will likely need another year in the OHL and then potentially a year in the AHL after that. But once he's ready, he will make an impact as a penalty killer and shutdown player. So yes, I think the Oilers were very high on him. They traded to get him. They signed him to his ELC in October of 2024. And now it's not that they wanted to move him, but to get an improvement on Isaac Howard, trades like that don't come around every day. Similar to how the Flyers acquired Jamie Drysdale, where is Drysdale necessarily equivalent to Cutter Gauthier? Perhaps not, but that's the best value you're going to get, and you got to be thankful for it, because if the situation gets worse and things keep souring, and now it turns into, congrats, you got a compensatory second-round pick because he walked to free agency, that looks very ugly. So Isaac Howard, I found this as well. I won't lie and say that I know how to read this. I've never seen these charts before, but it does tell you that he is an elite finisher, as we were just saying about his release. 21 goals in 36 games this season for Michigan State. That was just yesterday, actually. Yes. I don't want to get my hopes up, but this would be a big ad by Chris Drury, and it was not going to the Rangers. But I won't lie and say I know how to read this graph. I'm seeing a lot of green. I'm seeing a lot of high bars over here. A lot of good things. Hobbsy says, I think this seems fine for both, but I like the upside play for the Oilers better. Yeah, that's very well said. The Lightning can say, hey, we got good value back, and we very equivalent value in terms of draft position, and we move on with our lives. Especially that Sam O'Reilly better fits that next chapter timeline of the Lightning, where they're going to be having to deal with, okay, what's happening once Hedman and company retire or get older. This guy's 19. Howard wasn't exactly old, but he was a couple of years older, needing more, and you come into contract implications and stuff like that, that factors in. So Sam O'Reilly is a couple of years younger. Now the Oilers, with now still, they have, I don't know if this is updated, 175K in cap space. Isaac Howard, is he in here, or would even O'Reilly be in here? Between the 300 ads, I type in Sam. Oh no, it was done. So Howard. Oh, he's on there. The reserve non-roster. Perfect. So they has to sign by. Yeah, he did get signed. So yes, that's not a problem. He's reserve non-roster, but as soon as Puckpedia updates that, you'll be able to see him there. So yes, he is on board. And now for the Lightning, if we refresh here, Sam O'Reilly, because he was signed to an ELC, if I'm correct. Yeah, Sam O'Reilly signed on there, starting in 2025-26. Really? Okay, yes, because it was signed. Yes, exactly. So expiring RFA in 2028 is much better than what they were going to have to deal with, where he has to be signed and potentially walk to unrestricted free agency this next season, Isaac Howard. And that was what was promised to be happening, which they did not want to have happen. So there you have it. So yeah, as Hobbsy has said before, seems fine for both, but I like the upside play for the Oilers better. And I love it for the I love it for the Lightning in the sense of you got what you could before it was too late. And for the Oilers, of course, it's the upside play. Put that shot on a line with McDavid, especially McDavid, but as the finisher. And you have what you were looking for from Jeff Skinner, from Victor Arvidsson, from, I don't know, Connor Brown, Evander Kane. Who is that true finisher to the wing of Connor McDavid? It's been Zach Hyman for sure. But I don't know. Would I call Zach Hyman a sniper? Not really. He's going to get you those Brendan Gallagher grinder in the crease goals. Zach Hyman is incredible. He is elite. Don't get me wrong. But I wouldn't call Zach Hyman a guy that you set up for like an elite release per se. Is that fair to say? So Isaac Howard, make him that guy with McDavid, if it, assuming line combinations. And I love the upside. Now for Sam O'Reilly, going back to the Lightning. And yes, Tampa gets the value, basically did what they could, and Edmonton gets the upside. Yeah, that's all there is to say about it. That really sums it up quite well. That Hobbsy's used to it now. He was not hosting, he was hosting for me and filling in on the July 1st coverage. So if I look at the Tampa Bay Lightning and think about where might Sam O'Reilly slot in, not this next season, but into the future, like Gensel signed on year 2 of 7, Point year 4 of 8. Kucherov, I'm sure he'll be resigning. So let's say Sam O'Reilly breaks into the NHL in a year or two from now, talking like 26, 27 or 27, 28. You still have Gensel, Point, Kucherov, Hagel, Chiarelli. Bjorkstrand probably gone by then. Paul probably gone or about to be gone by then. Yanni Gourde's still there in the bottom 6. So if you could have a third line of the future of Yanni Gourde, Sam O'Reilly, and then something like, I don't know, Connor Geekie, if he could get into that role, that would be great. That's, you know what? That is the third line of the future right there. Even though Gourde will be like 35 by then, he's still signed on for 6 years. So Gourde, Geekie, O'Reilly, that's your third line of 2027. There you have it right there. Transitions between tabs seem much smoother here than when I did it. It's all right. You're going to get used to it. That's Lightning's third line of the future. I like that. The top 6 doesn't change much. Bjorkstrand drops out for some other big fish they'll go out and get. And there you have it. Now, the depth chart for the Oilers, starting as soon as next year, maybe the year after, kick out Podkolzin and all these other guys. And now give me a top 6, either this year or the next year after, of Nugent-Hopkins, McDavid, Hyman, Draisaitl, Isaac Howard, and then fill in that last spot with maybe Mangiapane still there. Yeah, probably. I don't know if he's still going to be in the top 6. Matthew Savoie is going to be growing. He's going to be a guy that is going to get a chance in the NHL. There's a lot to be excited about the Edmonton Oilers. There's a lot to be excited for. It's not just that, okay, we made it to Cup finals back-to-back years, and now we're going to be going downhill. I'm not an Oilers fan per se, but I would like to see them succeed, and I think this helps them do that, both now and in the future, where if you get McDavid, assuming McDavid is extended, McDavid, Draisaitl are locked in for a long time. You got another year of Hyman before he probably walks in free agency. Nugent-Hopkins, 3 more years. Now you're going to have Howard for 3 years on the ELC. Matthew Savoie's young, and he's joining into this team and going to be figuring things out. There's a lot to be excited for when it comes to the next few seasons of the Oilers, not just what has been and now trying to hang on to it. I think the Oilers, here's my hot take now, the best chance for the Oilers to win the Stanley Cup comes within the next probably 2 years. Not they're going to win the Stanley Cup. I wouldn't dare say that. I don't know if I would go so far to even say they make it back to the Cup final with how strong the West is getting. But I would say their best chance to win the Stanley Cup with Nuge still at 5.1 and Hyman still at 5.5 and Savoie and Howard on entry-level deals, money to spend, draft picks to move, 2 firsts in 2027, 2028, seconds, thirds. Their best chance, if they use the value to win the Stanley Cup, comes in the next 1 to 3 years, probably. That's probably my hot take there for Edmonton. So the Oilers, we'll see what happens with how they utilize Howard and when that happens, if he does go indeed return to Michigan State. Sam O'Reilly, that's the type of player the Lightning want. They want those guys that they can sign to be role players and do what they need to do for 8 years. Gensel, Hagel, Point, Kucherov, those guys probably aren't going, well, they're definitely not going anywhere. Kucherov, I'd be shocked, but they're not going anywhere. Rising cap, exactly. A lot to say that both teams will be all right, but the Lightning made out impressively well, I have to say, and the Oilers get a very low risk, high upside play. O'Reilly's floor is a third liner. I'd say his ceiling is a second liner. Meanwhile, Howard, the floor is who knows what happens sometimes with these scores. They could just, the shot goes away and then boom, they have nothing else redeeming about them and they're gone out of the NHL. Or the ceiling is, hey, first line sniper. I don't think that it's as likely that that Howard gets kicked out of the league and can't find a spot anymore. But I'd say the higher floor is Sam O'Reilly, but definitely the higher ceiling is much, much more in favor of Isaac Howard. That fair to say? I think that's about it on my side. Can't wait to watch this later tonight. I like this for the Oilers. Yes, I do. Thank you, not Owie. So I'll wrap it up there. Not much to say about an honest swap between two teams. I like it for both sides, but I love it for the Oilers in terms of the upside chance that they're taking here. Not that it's like a guarantee of higher value necessarily, but it's a good gamble and higher upside. I'm trying to choose my words carefully. Hey, it's instant reaction and analysis. Subscribe and hit that bell to be notified of all those more coming in the course of the NHL offseason ahead. It's only July 8th. There's much more to come, and there's going to be live streams to break it all down. So hit that bell notified when the live stream starts, as well as joining us in our Discord server of over 700 members. That's where the news breaks first. That's where I got the notification to see that the news had come, and then I went live right away. So the first place to get it is in the Discord server, and then the stream comes right after that. Check out the rest of the channel. We're doing franchise modes, career simulations, a lot that you'd love if you love the National Hockey League and management style things. Thanks for joining me tonight. Leave a like if you enjoyed, as well as your comments down below. Who wins and why? Do you agree with what I had to say, or do you think that there's issues with Isaac Howard? I look forward to reading your thoughts and seeing you once again in the next one. So have a great night, and we'll see what trade is next in the National Hockey League.